Today I'm really excited. I'm gonna start a bulking diet followed by a 5-day per week training program. And how long this challenge will take? A period of 6 months. You have to know that up until now, I didn't do any diet whatsoever, even though I went to the gym regularly, so let's say around 3 days per week. But I didn't do any diet, so yes, this is a drastic change for me. And I say this is really exciting because I remember the last time I cared about my diet and about my physical condition and going regularly to the gym. I looked so nice in my body and I was so confident. I felt the world was mine, and that was a great feeling, and I'm willing to take that challenge again and just like feel as good as how I was feeling back then. So I decided to start straight away, and why not making use of my community for those days that I'm feeling weak, so that you all push me to keep on moving forward in spite of the conditions, and I keep these brand new habits that I'm planning to cultivate, well, that I'm already cultivating actually. As I said, it's not that I start from scratch. I've been already cultivating my habit of going to the gym for the last couple of years, and as the famous book Atomic Habits mentions, it is first quite important to cultivate these habits, and that's what I've been doing, so I'm quite okay with it. I've been going to the gym regularly for the last 2 years, at least twice or 3 times a week, and that's all fine. And I changed my perception about myself and my identity, which is also quite important. So I perceive myself as somebody who cares about the health, who is healthy, who eats healthy, and who does sport regularly. But now it's time to take it to the next step, the next challenge, and this is this challenge, and I'm really excited to communicate it to all of you. I owe the merit and the credits for the idea to this challenge to one Spanish YouTuber whose name is Kcal. He is quite renowned in the area of self-development, especially among teenagers and younger group of people. And well, basically he does a calorie count, and he also trains around 5 days per week, which is basically what I'm gonna do for a moment. And he uses himself a quite renowned skill. I didn't know about it until now, but I will use it as reference because I also want to apply it for myself, and it's this one that you can see here. The reasoning of this scale is quite simple. It's a scale that goes from 7 to 20 depending on how much we want to bulk or how much we want to define here in the bottom. And it serves us as a great way of calculating the amount of pounds, not the amount of pounds, but rather the amount of calories that we need to intake per day. So the way of calculating or getting to there is quite simple. First of all, we need to change our weight. If you're European, you probably measure your weight in kilograms, but we'll need to pass it to pounds. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds more or less. So in my case, if I weigh 63 kilograms, we multiply it by 2.2 and we get to around 140 pounds. I overestimated a little bit, but you will know shortly why I did this. After we know the amount of pounds, we'll just multiply by the numbers in this scale depending on how much we want to bulk, from 7, which is not really bulking but rather defining, to 20, which is really bulking in an extreme way. I decided that I don't want to bulk in an extreme way, but rather in a rather moderate way. So I took just the number on the limit, which is 18, and I multiplied this 140 by 18. And that's exactly the amount of calories that you will need to take per day if you want to reach that amount, that same level of bulking. Once we know that, it's not just enough with knowing the amount of calories we need to take. It's also important to know the amount of proteins, because every time we train, every time our fibers get expanded and compressed because of the repetitions through the exercise, those fibers are affected and they need to be rebuilt. I don't know so much about the technical knowledge about it. I just read and heard about it, but it goes something like that. But the important thing is that we need proteins to make the muscle grow. And how do we know the amount of proteins that we need to take per day? This is also quite simple. Make sure you don't get lost in the calculation. So we multiply the amount of pounds that we weigh by 1. So in my case it could be 140 pounds multiplied by 1 is 140 grams of protein. What comes next is just an ingredient selection based on your preferences. In my case, since reaching 140 grams of protein per day isn't an easy task, I went the easy way, choosing animal-based products. If you are vegan, you can also choose vegan options that also have high content of proteins. But for my case, it was good animal-based products with a high protein content, like chicken breast, salmon, tuna, and eggs. And aside, complementing it with protein supplements, which are also a really interesting option and an easy source of proteins, and it doesn't require much cooking as well. So I went for that, and if you are vegan or not, you can also take that. Once we have some ingredients in mind that we like and also have a good amount of proteins, or at least some of them, we will grab them at the supermarket. And there we look at 3 different parameters for each of these ingredients, and write this down because it's important. First of all, the quantity in grams of the food item, and I will explain you later why. Secondly, the amount of kilocalories per 100 grams, or 100 milliliters in case it is a fluid or liquid, to make the calories per day calculation, which is also quite important. And thirdly, the grams of proteins per 100 grams of that particular ingredient, 100 milliliters in case it is a liquid, or unit in case it is protein bars, for example, to make sure we reach the minimum amount of proteins we need per day. I did that with the ingredients I needed for my planned weekly meals, and I came up with the below table. And my friend, since I'm not as creative as you might be and I'm also not a cook, I decided to ask my dear friend ChatGPT to prepare me those meals based on the list of ingredients that I've been sharing with you earlier. And 2 important criteria need to be met, which are that it reaches the amount of kilocalories that I need to take per day, which in my case is 2,600 kilocalories, and also the amount of grams that I need to eat of protein per day, which is 140 grams. And yes, guys, I gotta be realistic with you. It took me some time to formulate the questions the right way so that my friend was gonna give me the answers that I was looking for. But thanks to it, I was able to come up with the below recipes. You can see we have a little bit of tuna and tomato pasta. That's a typical one. Of course, it's composed of tuna, and we also have whole wheat pasta. They are really important ingredients. Why? Because you have the carbs that also have a lot of calories, as you can see, and you also have the tuna that has not only calories, but it also has a lot of proteins, and that's quite important for us. And the rest is up to your taste. Parmesan cheese that I also actually replaced by feta because the amount of fats is lower, and that's also quite important for me because I want to keep it low in terms of fats. And you can see here the value in kilocalories and proteins estimated by ChatGPT for this particular meal and those amount of grams. Then you also for lunch, so that's basically a dinner kind of dish. I forgot to mention, but that's a dinner dish. And I decided that this is gonna be my lunch one. So chicken breast, rice, mashed avocado, nutmegs, and pickled chickpeas, which also have like a really interesting protein content. Not for this amount, this is quite low, but per 100 grams it has 7 grams of proteins, so the double, and it's quite interesting. It's one of the legumes that has the biggest amount of calories. So just the 2 of them together, it's already around 2,100 kilocalories. So it's quite nice already. In 2 dishes we already have 70% in my case of the kilocalories that I need, and also around 70% of the grams of proteins. So that's great. So this is an alternative dish for dinner. Salmon and rice, basically. You see the ingredients there. And for breakfast is always gonna be the same. So basically for eggs is my breakfast, and porridge, which is made of oats, as you might know, and milk, and you might make overnight oatmeal, which is milk and oats, and leave it in the fridge for the whole night, and you eat it the day after. They soften up and they are much more eatable, but you might go the fast way, the quick way, and put it in the microwave, and that's also a cool way of eating the oats. And the amount of kilocalories is 800 kilocalories, so that makes that I'm actually eating in excess of the amount of kilocalories that I should eat per day. But it doesn't really matter, because maybe this is an overestimation anyway, so maybe I'm just eating less, and the amount of proteins is also quite a lot, not just because of the eggs, but also because I put protein powder in my porridge. And that's it. And as I mentioned earlier, why is it important to know the amount of grams of each of the ingredients or food items that you are taking? Is because that way you can plan your week accordingly. Once you have the meals and the ingredients and the amount of the ingredients that you need per meal, then it's much more easy to foresee how many grams of each of the products you will need to buy. So it makes you sort of make your week planning of meals much more easy. So it's a great way of doing so. In case you need, for example, 50 grams of salmon, let's say, for each of the meals, and you know that you are going to eat salmon 3 times a week, then 3 multiplied by 50 is 150 grams, and maybe each package weighs 150 grams, which is exactly what you need. Then you can just buy 1 package for that week, and that's it, and you got covered for salmon. And I'm just gonna stop talking about math because I'm starting to get a little bit bored. Wake up, my friend. I'm here at the gym because I want to show you what my current weight is, and also because I want to train. And there you go, 61 kilogram, which is a little bit less than what I expected, because normally I weigh 63 kilograms on other scales, but I guess this one is a little bit more accurate. And my body composition as well. So there you go. Here I leave some pictures of me starting this stage and starting all this challenge. And I will be documenting this month by month, so you will see 1 video posted every single month about the body change. So it will be 1 month from the moment this video is being posted, and I'm really excited about it. I will not deny it. There will be peaks, as in this moment I'm really motivated and I'm really willing to kill those days and eat as many calories as I need. But there will also be lows, and I will document it all. You will see the peaks and lows, because motivation is spontaneous. It might come in moments you don't expect it, in moments you are really happy, and sometimes we don't know the reason. Sometimes it's a little bit more controlled, and I would like to speak about it in some other video. But in the moments we are not in full control or in full charge of our happiness, then we have these kind of valleys, and in those moments what really matters is both mindset and discipline. So I'm sure I'm a really disciplined guy. I know myself quite well, but we'll see how that goes. I trust myself, I trust my instinct, and it tells me that I will go all the way along during the 6 months, and I will really enjoy this challenge. And that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as me. I hope you follow the change and you follow how much I change over time, probably in weight, in body shape, mentality. Maybe there are some other aspects of my personality that change along the way, and that's quite interesting. And remember, the only constant in life is change, so why not, one more time, let's stay together, let's make change together.